to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 98. We are only 2 episodes away from our 100th episode. That's exciting. So I have all kinds of things to share with you today. I have not 1, but 2 finished projects. So the first one I have is a project bag for the fall along. And it's a reversible, it's a drawstring bag. And look at the cute little turkeys. And then it's just stripes with like glittery stuff in the bottom. And the inside, if I flip it inside out, is leaves. So there's the top and there's the bottom. So yeah, I had this left over from a table runner that I made a few years ago from fat quarter. You have little things you can get at the fabric store to make quilts with, the little fat quarter things. That's what I had, and these were some leftovers that I had from it. And I thought, oh, perfect project bag for the fall. Sorry, I'm back. The telephone rang, and Dave's not here, which is why the door is open back here, so I can hear what's going on downstairs because I'm upstairs. So, yeah, telephone always rings when I'm in the middle of doing a podcast. So anyway, this is my drawstring project bag for the fall. So this is for the fall along, and I'm not entering my own giveaway, but I do want to participate. So that's my first project for that. And we'll get into a little bit more what my other projects are later on. I'm not starting them yet. So I'm actually going to take them with me when I go on vacation to do my knitting and crocheting there. So I also finished my There's Water at the Bottom of the Ocean. I finished last week. I was right here. You can see my little bee. Let's see it right there. So I did this last row all along in here, which is the lacy edge. And it has been blocked, and I do like it much, much better now that it's been blocked. It kind of evened out those kind of bigger spots so that it looks a little nicer. It doesn't feel as soft, actually, as it used to after I washed it, but it looks nice and crisp. I'll say that it's crisp. So I am going to insert a picture right here. And that picture was when it was on the blocking board, so you can really get a full idea of it. So let me roll back here so you can see it. Here it is here. There's the bottom, and you can see it has kind of has a center panel, and then it comes up to the top, and the edges all have these scalloped pointed edges on them. So now I'll get up close so you can see the stitches a little bit closer. And this was knit with it's a cotton linen blend. It's a yarn that's not made anymore. It was Fisa Rimini. It wasn't horrible to knit with, but it wasn't my favorite. But this is what the center panel looks like up close. You can see it. It reminds me of bird wings. You know, like angel wings, sort of. And then this is what the side stitches look like. And it kind of has a sheen to it, so it's almost showing up like it glitters in the film. It doesn't. It just has a sheen on it, and it's an icy blue color. So, and this is for my daughter-in-law. I do have to weave the end in yet. I haven't done that. I literally just took it off of the blocking boards before I filmed. And then the edge also has this kind of a finished solid section here with ribbing along the sides. So it's very pretty. I think I would probably make the pattern again down the road sometime. But again, that is by Barbara Benson, and it's called There Is Water at the Bottom of the Ocean. And there's a picture of it. And it's not a huge shawl. It's, I mean, on my daughter-in-law, it will fit fine. On me, it would look kind of small. But anyway, that is my other finished object. So now we're into my works in progress. My Tega shawl, the crocheted one, is on holding point at this point, and I'll explain why. It's not due to any problem or anything like that. It's just that I am running out of yarn, and I can get more yarn. That's not the problem. I'm trying to avoid paying the shipping because we're going on vacation in just a few weeks, and one of the places that I'm going carries this yarn. So, and that's who I was actually going to order it from anyway. So I just figure I'm not in that big of a hurry to get more of it. I'm just going to finish up. This is what I have left of that skein. I'm just going to get a second skein of the, or in this case, it's a cake. And this is the Plymouth Hot Cakes. And this is what my Tega shawl looks like. And you can see from my little pizza marker right here, that's where I was last week. So I've knit a few rows, but it definitely needs to get bigger because this is kind of like shawlette size at this point. So it needs to get at least another cake in here yet to make it bigger. But like I said, I'm trying to avoid paying the shipping if I'm going to be at the store anyway. And I am going, when we are on vacation, I'm going to Webs, which is yarn.com. It's like a big warehouse place, and they carry this particular yarn in this particular color. So I figure why order it if I'm going to be there? So I'm just going to get it when I'm up there. So that is, I'm going to finish this out this week, and which will probably just take me to the end of the row. I'll just finish this out, and then it's just going to sit off to the side until I can get more yarn for it. So I did take it with me to Knit Night to see if, because she does have some Plymouth yarns, but she doesn't have the hot cakes. And she had another skein that it was close, but it was just enough off that if I'd put it with it, I was just afraid it wouldn't look right. So I want to order the same yarn. So rather, like I said, I'm cheap, rather than pay the shipping if I'm going to be there. If I needed the stuff, like needed it done for a present or something, then I'd probably pay the shipping. But if I'm going to be there anyway, why would I just wait? So yeah, it's only going to be a few weeks. So this is going to sit on timeout for just a couple of weeks, and then I'll be able to get back to work on it. Then I have my design shawl that I'm working on. And of course I'm right in the middle of a row because that's the way I roll, apparently. Last week, I was partway through this first section. I've now gone through the second section here, or the third section, actually, let me hold it back here. And now I'm into the next darker brown section. And this has a different pattern than the one below. Each of these different color of browns that are going through it are going to be in a different pattern, but they're going to be dense. They're not going to be like a lacy type of shawl. I want this to be a solid shawl, just because I'm having fun playing with the texture part of it. So let me see if I can show you. Here is the one end, which starts narrow. So you can see, it starts really narrow. There's the first band, here's the first change of color, here's the main color, and here's the second change of color right here. But it starts real narrow, it has short rows in it. And then it works its way around to the other side, which is real wide. So far I am really happy with how it's turning out. And the yarn I am using for this is Knit Picks. I'm using a combination. The colored portions, the various colors, those are Knit Picks palette yarns, which are a good workhorse yarn. They're cheap, they're 100% wool, and they're really decent quality yarn, and they come in tons and tons of colors. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes, because I got a Knit Picks catalog in this past week. And the tan color is Cloudborn, and that's from Craftsy. And that's also like a workhorse yarn. It's relatively cheap, but it's nice quality, and all of this is relatively soft. I mean, you could wear it up against your skin. It's not like a coarse wool. It's not soft like merino, but it's not coarse like, your more rustic yarns are. So that's my design shawl, and I'm real happy with how it's turning out so far. So my question would be, what am I going to make next? Well, I actually was watching the Yarn and You podcast, and I'll put that right down here. Her name's Janine, and she actually is one of the viewers here, as well as she's on our Facebook page. So she has a really good podcast, and check her out. She lives out in, I think it's Washington State, Washington or Oregon, one of those two. She lives way out on the West Coast. Anyway, she also designs, she dyes yarn. She has a yarn shop in her house, I think, that she sells and dyes yarn. So she has a website for that, so check her out. But she just knitted this really, really pretty sweater. And if you go and check out her latest podcast, you'll see it because she's wearing it in the video itself. But it's kind of a boxy type of sweater, and it has like little peekaboo holes in it. I mean, it's something you wear like over top of a long sleeve. You know, you wouldn't wear it like without a shirt underneath, but it's very pretty, and it's very feminine looking. And it just looks like one of the sweaters that would be just cozy to snuggle on, just put it on and kind of, cuddle up with. Anyway, she was looking for test knitters for it, and so I said I would be happy to test knit for her. So that's going to be one of my next projects, and I do believe it is done in a fingering weight. Because I think she used Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and Loft is a fingering weight. So I think it is a fingering weight sweater, which will make it even softer and squishier. So I'm waiting to get the information from her, and I've got lots and lots of fingering weight yarn that I was going to do into a sweater. So now I just need to choose which one. So not real sure. It depends on the yardage, how much is needed. So I'm going to be probably doing a test knit for her. So that's going to be a sweater. Then I am going to make a poncho. Somebody on our Ravelry group had mentioned for the fall along that they were going to be making a poncho. And I said, me too. So if you remember my sweater that I cut apart last week and did the steeking, I had a lot of this yarn left. And this is just a wool blend. I'm going to make a poncho out of this because I have I think it's about 1,100 yards. So I'll divide it in half. I think I'm going to do similar kind of a mix between the Tega pattern and the virus pattern because I like the scallops at the bottom, but I really like the single crochet of the Tega shawl. So I think I might try to combine the two together somehow. Maybe put the virus portion at the bottom so it's kind of scalloped around the edges. I thought that would be pretty. So I'm going to use this leftover yarn for that. And I'm going to put, I have, again, some of that palette yarn from Knit Picks. I have some in a really pretty maroon and some in a navy blue. And so I thought that would look really pretty with this. Like just as little accents to have some striping going through it in a couple of spots. Not a lot of striping, just a little bit. Subtle striping. Yeah. So that's going to be my poncho project for crochet, since I'm going to be running out of my Tega shawl yarn very shortly. This will hold me over. So I'm going to start on that. And I'm also going to be making a worsted weight shawl. I will show you the pattern. I saw this at Knit Night a few weeks ago. It is Interweave Knits. It's a magazine, and that I just liked a lot of the patterns. I don't usually buy a book or a magazine unless there's quite a few patterns in there that I'm interested in. And this one had tons of things in here it had some poncho designs in here. It is all knit, it's not crochet, but I saw some just really pretty designs, more, there's probably 4 or 5 designs in here that I really liked. And I think I paid $7.99 for this, which isn't bad if I'm getting, $7.99, which isn't bad if I'm getting at least 4 or 5 patterns out of it. That's less than $2 per pattern. So I will show you the shawl I'm going to make. And this book, everything in it was Southwestern themed. So there's part of the shawl. And here you can see it opened up a little bit more. So if I can get this. The lighting's not great. But there it is bunched up around her. So I really liked the looks of it, and it has some color work, which I have done color work, but it's been a while. So it has some color work on the edging. You can see it right here. And the colors I am doing it in, while I like the tan with the blue and the red, the poncho I'm making is going to have those similar colors. So I had bought, and I showed this in one of my acquisitions a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. I bought some Sprightly yarn, and this is from Knit Picks, and it's on sale right now, by the way. It's actually on sale. Well, I'll do that when I get to the come and get it section, but this is worsted weight acrylic, and I bought, this is the main color, and then I bought 2 other shades of the charcoal. I think I have a charcoal, medium charcoal, and a dark charcoal that's almost a black, because I wanted something very neutral that I could wear with a lot, and I tend to wear a lot of grays and blacks. Matches the gray hair, but anyway, yeah, I like neutrals, and this is like soft and squishy yarn, so I have a bunch of this. And it should knit pretty quick because it's a US size 8 that you knit this with. So it should go pretty fast. So those are my projects I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks. Now we're going to talk about the fall along. I did change the rules a little bit. One of you actually noticed I read the rules a little bit, and there was some things that were different in there. Yes, I did. Because originally the fall along was supposed to only be fall colors or fall related. But the more I thought about it, not everybody is into fall colors, and I didn't want anybody to be excluded if they wanted to participate. So, and I didn't want people to feel like they had to go out and buy yarn special just to participate. So this is going to be, it's supposed to be fun, and it's all about sharing all of our projects. So I changed the rules a little bit. It can be any project. I don't really care. As long as it is created, you can do sewing, knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning, anything else fiber related, sewing or fiber related, quilted. Did I say quilted already? I don't know. Anyway, it can be any of those things in any color you want, in any project you want, as long as you do it between September 1st and November 30th. So no works in progress. It had to have been started, sometime September 1st or after. And you have to finish it by November 30th. That's the only requirements, okay? There's no minimum amount. We have some people who have submitted dishcloths, and that is perfectly fine. The whole idea is we're going to have fun and try to get as much stuff entered as possible because we like to see each other's projects. So, again, it is not based at all on fall colors. I want everybody to have a chance and everybody to have fun. So, I am going to share some of what some people have already entered. Some of these were put on Facebook. Some of these were put on the Finished Objects Ravelry page. So not everything that I'm showing you is in the fall along. Some of these are just some things people posted on Facebook that they had completed. So I am going to do our show and tell section now. Okay, now we are at our acquisitions. It was bad this week. I did a little bit of shopping. Actually, I did a lot of shopping probably, but oh well. Here we go. All right, first my knit crate came in. So if you haven't watched that video, I'll put the link right up here. You can click on the little eye and it will take you over to it. In the sock box, I got this gorgeous yarn. It's all different shades of browns. It reminds me of a toasted marshmallow. It has some gray in it. You know, maybe it's showing up white here, but this is actually gray, kind of an ash gray and browns. It just reminds me, like I said, campfire, toasted marshmallow. It's very fallish. Dead leaves. This is going to sound weird, but I love the fall. I like walking through dead leaves, and I like the smell of the dead leaves. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know, but I like the smell of fall. I am ready for fall. So this was this color, which was gorgeous, and it is called Critical Sheep, and the yarn color, and it's from Wisconsin. It's Waukesha, Wisconsin. And it is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and the color is Veil. It's really soft. And this will probably, it's 400 and some yards, but it will probably be combined with some other yarns that I have that have these kind of colors in them. So it'll probably be an accent yarn. So I got that. And then I got the Knit Crate, the membership box that I pay for, and they sent this gorgeous purple. And now I'm hoping this is showing up better purple. Yeah, it's in the video that I did. I filmed it down in my kitchen thinking the lighting would be fine, and it looks more gray than it looks like it's tonal gray. It's not. This is like popsicle purple. It is a really pretty, pretty purple. And then it has light colors. It's called Lavender. And this is in the Vitalana yarn, which has a cashmere in it. It is 70% superwash merino, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. So needless to say, this is really, really soft and really, really pretty, and I have 2 skeins of it. And then I went to Knit Night. Knit Night happened, and I walked in, and look what I saw. This is kind of a, it's not tweed, but it kind of has that barber polling. You can see it right here. But look at this with this. It is like it was meant to go together. It is such a good match. And this is a Cascade Heritage Wave, and it's also a superwash, 25% nylon, 75% merino. So it doesn't have the cashmere or the silk in it, but it's actually really just as soft, and it has a little bit of a fuzzy halo to it, but the purples are going to go together so well. And this is how many yards? This is 437 yards, and each of these are 329. So I'm almost close to a sweater's weight for me. We'll have to see. I might have to find one more color to put with it, or I might end up buying another skein of this to have a sweater's weight. But wouldn't it look gorgeous as a sweater? And it would be so soft. Yes. Anyway, yes. Purple. Purple, yeah. Several of you have said purple is one of your favorite colors. Yes. Mine never used to be. I know purple was not my favorite color. Until my hair went gray, and then I've just decided that I need all the color I can get because otherwise I look washed out. So, yeah, I love me some purple. So, we got that. And then I remember, if you remember our debate last week of what in the world to put with this, which is my Party of 5, which is going to be used on my design shawl for the second time that I knit it. And trying to find a color that was going to go with this. Many of you suggested the off-white, white, gray, the navy blue, but the navy blue I've got really, when you put it up here, it doesn't show up in the light really well, but when you put it up against these colors, it really does look purple. It just has purple undertones to it. So it tends to clash, especially with this one, which is the darkest. So I didn't get very daring. I just bought white. I figured I'm safe with the white. It's going to go with everything. It wasn't my first choice. I really wanted to find a blue, a very light blue that would go with this. But I carried this around in my yarn shop because I've tried 3 times ordering it from Craftsy. Tried 3 different blues, and none of the blues that I had looked right. There was only one left to try, and that was a baby blue, which might have worked, but it also might have clashed with this baby blue. So I finally gave up on trying to match the blues. They do say that blues are some of the hardest colors to match. I now believe that. So at first when I bought this, I was like, well, maybe I could dye it myself and get a little bit blue, but I don't think I'm even going to try. I am so afraid of having bought this yarn and then messing it up. So, and this was on sale at my yarn shop. It is a Carlton Silky Aran. There, you can see it. And it is 100% premium micro acrylic. Now, this is not acrylic yarn. This is sock yarn. So I know I am mixing fibers here, but I figure I'm just hand washing it. It's not like it's going through the washer and dryer. This does have wool in it. Usually you don't mix your fibers. You usually tend to have the same thing with the same thing, but this is going to be a shawl. It's not something that's going to be washed a whole lot. And when I do wash it, it's going to be hand washed. So I'm not too overly worried about it. And this is a test knit. So anyway, that's what I ended up with. I was a little disappointed because I really did want to do the blues, but it just wasn't happening. So I finally gave up. I got tired of trying to walk around. Like you said, I walked around my yarn shop and tried it against all different colors of blue and thought maybe I can find something. I mean, and my yarn shop is very, very well stocked. It's one of the biggest yarn shops I've ever been in. So if anybody's going to have something that's going to go with this, she would have it. It didn't happen. Nothing. Every blue I looked at and tried to put it with, there was at least one of these colors in here that it clashed with. So we went with a total contrasting color of white. So that's what I got with it. In case you didn't notice, the background changed. I'm now downstairs in the kitchen recording because I realized that the entire section of the Come and Get It disappeared. I lost it, so I'm re-recording this later in the evening. So let me go over what is for sale this week. Knit Crate, which I did my Knit Crate unboxing earlier this week. If you would like to see that, I will put a little card up here. You can check it out. And anyway, they are offering a deal for you can get 20% off of your first box if you put in if you use the link down below and use KCreations20. You get 20% off your first box, but they are also running a Wheel of Yarn Fortune right now where you can spin the wheel and get a deal, so to speak, off of different discounts like free shipping or just different offers that they've got running. So that is Knit Crate. And Lion Brand Yarn is running a sale on their Plumwood colorways. So it's up to 45% off of Plumwood would be purple yarn. So 45% off of some of that. Craftsy is offering a bunch of their bulky yarns for under $3. They also have the Sprightly yarn, which is the yarn that I'm going to make my shawl out of, and it is going for $3.16 right now. And they also have a couple of yarns that are for $2.62, and that would be Bernat satin yarn is $2.62, and Hatton's Astra, which is a sport weight yarn, is going for $2.19. Knit Picks has their alpaca yarn on sale right now in the lace weight and the fingering weight. And so they are running between $5.38 and $6.15. They also have their books on sale for 40% off, and their clearance section is up to 60% off. And then we get to our second giveaway. If you looked in the title, it said we have 2 giveaways. We have our fall along that is running, but we also have Annie's Yarn Shop. or Annie's Craft Shop. And Annie's Craft Shop is offering us a free crochet pattern to the winner. And in order to enter, you must be a member of their website, and it's free to sign up. You just have to put your email address and a password in. So it's a free account that you can get with them. And the reason you have to have an account is because if you would happen to win, that's where your pattern will be into your library through them. So in order to enter, this is what you need to do. Go over to their website, and the link is down below. If you just click, if you see the little box down below my information, it says show more, click that and scroll down and you'll see Annie's Craft Shop. Click on that link and it will take you over there, and you can look at their Autumn Glory patterns. Those are the ones that they are offering on sale right now. They have some baby patterns, and they also have some fashion patterns, which are for adults. So just put in the comments down below which your favorite pattern is. So that's all you have to do to enter, is put down the name of your favorite pattern out of their selection of Autumn Glory patterns. The one that is going up to be won is going to be the Daydream Wrap, which is a rectangular wrap, and it shows in the picture with a really pretty shawl print up on the corner, or up on the shoulder. So the giveaway is going to run for 1 week. It will start today, which is September 15th, and it will run until the 21st of September, which is next Friday. And next Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will choose a winner using random.org, and I will announce it on next Saturday's podcast. So again, in order to win, or to be entered to win the crochet pattern, you need to go to Annie's Craft Shop, look at their patterns, and then put in the comments down below which is your favorite. All right, so that's what you need to do to enter giveaway number 2. Now I thought I would do something totally different. Some of you use Ravelry all the time, like I do, and love it because it's got like thousands and thousands of free patterns. And some of you aren't real familiar with Ravelry. So I thought I would do a little bit of informational video about Ravelry. So what I did is I actually filmed my Ravelry page and showed you, kind of walked you through how to find patterns and where you can put your project. You know, it has a section you can put your projects in, and you can take notes about your projects, like what size hook or needles you used, what yarn you used, how much yarn you used. That it has a library where you can queue up some patterns that you're interested in. So I just kind of did a little bit of walkthrough, just a brief, nothing real detailed by any means. It wasn't exhaustive, but I thought maybe it would help those of you who are not familiar with Ravelry to just be a little more aware of what it is and what you can do with it. And it's like opening the kid in the candy shop, because like I said, there's lots and lots of free patterns. You just keep narrowing it down till you find what you like. There's paid for patterns as well, but there's free patterns on there. There's lots to choose from. So I thought I would insert that here. All right, this is my pro page, which has all my patterns. But let's go over to my regular pattern, to my regular Ravelry page. And you'll see up top here, it says Notebook. That's what you want to click. I can go to Projects, to my Ravelry page. If I click on one of those projects, I have more information about it. Click on one and show you. This is the Yexa shawl. Here you can see the pattern, and then it gives you all of this information here that you can fill out to the notebook page. It has a section for stash. I don't have anything in there, but stash would be your yarn collection. You can put that in. You have a queue. These are patterns you're interested in. and I'll click that. And you can see these are all different patterns. There's water at the bottom of the ocean. Some of these I've already printed the patterns out for. Some of these are ones I just want to keep an eye on because they're ones I might want to make one day. So I have several pages of those. There's some sweaters in here that I'm looking at, and so that's what's in the queue. You can have a list with friends. There's groups. I'll click on groups. And these are all the groups that I'm a part of. These are also podcasts that I watch. And you'll see here is Katrina's Creations right here. So if you're looking to enter, that's where you're going to go. So that's what the groups are. There's needles and hooks, which you can also put in what needles and hooks you have in your collection. Then there's libraries that I actually have downloaded, and they are sitting there waiting for me to print. So those are the difference between them, and this is one I've just pulled up called the Valley Cow. Interested in the difference between the queue and the library just means I've actually downloaded these patterns, where in the queue I've just kind of marked them as these are ones I'm interested in. So there's other things in here as well. There's purchases, there's a message box, which is your email, uploading photos, things like that. But this is just the basic information on Ravelry. Let me show you when we start to do a new project. I go over here and I click the projects. And right at the top, right here, it has 3 tabs. And one says Add New Project. So you can click on there. You can decide what craft. In this case, it would be knitting, and you can give it a name. So we'll go to maybe one of the patterns I've done. Here is the Katrina's Kerchief Cow. So we'll click on this in the projects page. And you can see, so I can get this in close enough. You can see the name and the pattern, and I've written down what type of yarn I used and how many skeins I used of it. And then over here you can share pictures, you can upload a photo of your finished project, which is what I did right here. And then there's a space down here for any. It has patterns, yarn, people, groups. If you're looking for a specific pattern, you can click on the patterns page, and you can enter, if you know a specific name, you could put it here. If you're just looking for a pattern in general, let's say you want to make a shawl, let's just type in shawl. Now we want to narrow it down a little bit. Over here, you can choose whether you want crochet or knitting. I'm going to leave it at knitting because that's what I've got on here right now. But I want a free pattern. I don't want to pay for anything. So let's scroll down under the choices. And under availability, it gives you free, purchase, purchase in print. Gives you some options. So I'm going to click free. And it continues to narrow it down. I can decide how I want it constructed, or what shape. Do I want it based on color work? Do I want to have construction, which would be seams? I can keep narrowing this down using these fields until I reach the pattern that I want. I can choose by, say I want to make a worsted weight shawl. I can choose by the weight. I can choose by the weight of the shawl. So let's say worsted. And so more pop up, and all of these would be patterns that are free. I can even choose by how much yardage. So let's say I've got between 450 and 600 yards. So I'll click that, and it continues to narrow it down And then you can eventually just scroll down, and when you see a pattern you like, you can click on that pattern and it will give you more information about it. So let's click on this first one. I'll show you a little bit what I'm talking about. So here it talks about the name of the shawl. It will tell you the information, how much yarn is needed, and then there's a little button right here that says free Ravelry download. You can also go up at the top here and it says projects, and you can click on this and see that 24 people have made this project, and it's in different colors. So some are in blue, some are in white, there's gray. So you can look at this and look at other people's versions of this same pattern and see what it looks like in other colors to give you some ideas. So hopefully this helps you out with Ravelry. So that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't clicked subscribe, please do, the little red button down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you Wednesday for our Knitting 101 class. We are doing the rib stitch this week. And otherwise, I will see you again on Saturday. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great week.